What is a serial killer? It depends on who you ask and how you define it. The term didn't even exist until the 1970s. Before then, they were referred to as mass murderers. Before that, you'd have to search for terms like convicted of 3 murders or shot 4 people, and then determine whether it was a mass murder or serial killing. It's possible that there were just as many serial killers in the 1950s as the 1970s, but because we didn't have that term, we didn't recognize them. But in the 1990s, the powers that be decided it was time to get serious about just who a serial killer really was. In 1998, the U.S. Congress defined a serial killer as 3 or more victims, killed over time with common characteristics, to suggest that the same offender committed the murders. Some researchers still argue that because a serial killer is such a rarity, we should make sure their body count reflects this and go for the higher number. Since 2005, though, the FBI has redefined a serial killer as a person who has killed 2 or more individuals on 2 separate occasions. Not only did they loosen up their triple homicide requirement, they also did away with the psychological cooling-off period that is the hallmark of sexual serial murders. What we're left with is a person who kills 2 or more people at different times. That's a pretty broad definition, and in some ways doesn't help us much. Kelly Cochran, who, along with her husband, killed her lover and bumped off her spouse, doesn't have much in common with Samuel Little, the sexual serial killer who confessed to murdering 93 vulnerable women. The reason the definition is so broad is that the FBI wanted to give itself a lot of leeway to help local law enforcement with serial crimes, so they narrowed the body count requirement from 3 to 2. In some ways, it makes sense to use 2 as a marker. The vast majority of murderers kill only 1 person, so while there are many differences among serial murders, the fact that they have killed more than 1 person puts them in a unique category. One that's all the more unique, given the fact that these murders were planned and not the tragic result of a fight or argument. On the other hand, the narrower definition definitely lets in murderers who have killed 2 people at different times who don't fit our common understanding of serial murder. So the debate continues.